coming up, Brian Billick coming up. So all that coming up today, tomorrow, Football Friday. And remember, we'll be at Mulcahy's Sunday. It's sold out, though. There's no tickets available. We'll be there. Doors open at 8:30. We'll be there 9 to 11:30. All that, and then at 11:30, I will be there. We'll set everything up in an orderly fashion, take pictures of whatever anybody needs. So we'll save that all for 11:30, and then we won't do it doing commercials or anything. We'll do it at 11:30 and knock it all out, hopefully by 1 o'clock. That's the plan. Nick in Jackson Heights, what's up, Nick?
Mike, I wanted to wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Holidays, good success in your new endeavor. It's been great taking all the calls, talking about everything that we spoke about. And we're going to miss you on the air, Mike.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And all the patience you had with my Cowboy calls.
Well, listen, that's okay. I mean, listen, the Cowboys are always interesting. Chris in Ronkonkoma, what's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike, I'd just like to thank you for all the years of getting me through a lot of traffic. You, Chris, and
Thank
boy.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I wish you the best of luck. And I was a question. Did you ever think in your future endeavors of going into politics in the Long Island area?
Absolutely
right?
No.
So you have it's hard to spend 30 years in the public spotlight and not have any bad things said about you. And you've done a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. But no, I'm not. No thanks on the politics. I'll leave that to other people. Thank you. Absolutely not. No, I'll pass on that. Joe in Massapequa Park. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Mike. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
You truly will be missed, Mike.
Thank you.
You really are the best.
Thank you.
I have a feeling why you cannot divulge what you're doing after WFAN.
I'm under contract. That's why. I mean, it's part of my contract.
Mike, I think you're either going to be the next Yankee bench coach or the next Giant head coach.
Well, those I could actually answer to if they were real. I could actually say them.
I think you're going to pop up as one of those.
Thanks. What's up?
On the Giants, Mike, if Spagnuolo wins, let's say by any chance he wins these next few games, you think he's a shoo-in for next year, or are they going to still be looking?
I think he'd have to win all 4 games to have a chance.
4 games.
I think he'd have to sweep the 4 to have a chance. I don't think he's a compelling. I don't think he has a compelling resume in that team failed this year. He was not a successful head coach. I do not think he'd be the answer. I think it would really. They would have to. I believe they would have to sweep the 4 games, and then I think he would be a candidate. Elvis in Connecticut. What's up, Elvis?
Hey, Mike. Before I ask you a question about the NBA, a couple of weeks back, you were talking about players that you never got to interview that you always wanted to interview.
Yeah.
Before you leave, is there any chance you could get Namath?
We've been trying to get Namath for weeks. He's not easy. No, he's not easy. He is not easy.
Really?
Well, because he has a relationship with ESPN, that's a big problem. So that's been a big issue. He's been, he's made money from them a lot. So that's been a big issue of getting him, is that he's been under contract to them for a long time for different stuff, and he's not been easy. I like Joe personally. I know him well. I know him to say hello to. I don't know him. We don't hang out together, but I mean, I know him to talk to. He's a wonderful guy. I mean, he's friendly. He's smart. I mean, listen, I would love to sit down with Joe. I'd love to. I would. The 2 guys I really wanted to get that we don't have commitments from so far were Riley. And remember, Riley holds a grudge, which I've told you many times. And we've tried very hard the last 2 weeks to get him. And I don't know if we're going to get him. I would say probably not. But, and the other one's Namath. I've tried very hard to get Namath. I really have. Those are 2 guys I've wanted. And Riley, because he deserves it, because he was such a big part of what we did for so many years. Now, I understand. I've been very honest with you guys about what happened. He was very upset with Dog and myself after he left. And he felt he was great to us, which he was. He was sensational, and he felt that we owed him more than we gave him. And I talked it out with him. I sat in Santa Monica at a hotel at the pool. He and I spent 3 hours talking it out. And we didn't get anywhere. He just never changed his view. And that was it. I mean, we went through what happened. We went through everything. He told me his theory on it, and it was very fair. We spoke honestly about it. And I've met him since then. I've seen him at the Garden. He's very friendly when I see him. He was in Scouting Players last year. I sat and talked with him. He was with Michael Douglas. We sat and talked. That might have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And so, I mean, I see him. He's hello, very, very friendly, but he won't do interviews with us. He hasn't done it with Dog, hasn't done it with me. So the only time he broke his thing was when Ewing retired. He did an interview with me. That was it. the day Ewing retired. I was at the Garden doing the show, and he did the interview because it was Ewing. So Namath and Riley were the two that we've been really working on that we have not gotten. We've gotten virtually everybody else we wanted. I mean, right down the line. We've gotten everyone. We haven't gotten a no from anybody, including Jeter and A-Rod, and I go through it, Messier and Pettit, and you've heard them all. Every one of them. We have not gotten a no from anybody. Next week, we still have Coughlin and Piazza to come. They're still coming. Stern today. Tom Coughlin's coming. Piazza's coming. Bill Simmons will be back on. You'll hear Carol Parry. Simmons will be next Wednesday. For all you Bill Simmons fans, will be next Wednesday at 4. Tom Coughlin's coming back on next week. Piazza's coming back on. The two we've been trying to get, Riley and Namath. Now, I know some have asked about Parcells. That's a tricky one right now. We're just not as close as we used to be, so I'm not even going down that road. That's just me. I have not asked, so that's me. That's nothing. He didn't turn us down. That's me. I just passed on it. It's just that's just you got to just leave that one to me. That's just a more personal thing with he and I. So that's the reason why we're not doing that. Jason in Jersey, what's up, Jason?
Hey, Mike. When you interviewed Marin, he said he had no ideas to see Webb in the last 4 games. Really didn't make any sense to me, because why would you have drafted him as your 3rd-round pick if you don't want to see him this year? And then to say, well, it's all about winning, I only want to win. But at 2-9, you went along with a plan where Eli would only play half a game. So
he says he did not go along. Wait. He said he didn't go along with the plan 2-9, half the game. He did not go along with that plan.
He did. He said he signed.
No, he didn't. He said he wanted it. If you listened, he said he wanted it to be flexible. That he said if Eli was playing well, he would stay in the game.
He hoped that McAdoo would have been more flexible, but he signed off on the agreement that he would play half the game.
He also said he thought it meant that he would stay in the game if he was playing well. That's what he did say.
Matt, but that's not someone who wants.
And he said he was
uncomfortable
with the plan. Well, wait a second. He just told you this week that he'd rather win the games than see Webb play. He just told you that.
Yeah, but what sense does that make when you're 2-10, Mike? And you're
because
not going
he doesn't want to lose. Because rivalry games mean something to him.
Mike,
Division games mean something. Mike? I do believe that. They're not trying to lose these games.
Eli's been averaging 12 to 13 points behind this line and with no receivers. It doesn't matter who's quarterbacking.
So it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to check. You're not going to play Webb in Week 17 on this team and be able to tell anything about him. Do you realize that? You're not going to learn anything about him.
Mike, Gino was running for his life in the Oakland game.
We know that.
Now you're going to put Eli back in there behind no line. Why not just come out and say, Eli's our future? He never came out and said, Eli's our future. I stand behind him.
I don't think Eli is their future.
Forward.
Wait a second. Okay. So we don't think Eli is their future. That's not about that. It's not about next year right now.
Putting him in for, Mike. He's averaging 12, 13
What is your point you're trying to make? What is your point you're trying to make?
There's no sense in putting him back in. What's the sense of putting him back in behind this line?
He's trying to win the games.
Mike. No, he did it to appease the fans. It's not to win the games. It was simply to appease the fans. Like, he wanted to look at the other quarterbacks.
He's the owner. If he wanted to look at the other quarterbacks, he'd look at them.
No, he was going to until he got that fan reaction. He did this totally based on the fan reaction. You've had 15 different interpretations in the last week about this yourself. 15 different ones. You came in, you told us last week they were trying to lose on purpose. You got all these different ones. You know what? They didn't like any part of this, okay? They screwed up. They should have never taken him out. They screwed up. They tried to fix it. So now they put him back in, and now they said they don't have to see Webb. If you see Webb week 16 or 17 behind a bad line, you're not going to learn anything about him anyway. He's going to get killed. He's going to be a kid who's not going to come off his first receiver. He's a rookie. He's going to not come off his first receiver, and he's going to get destroyed. And he's going to get picked off 3 or 4 times, and you're not going to say, get rid of him. No, you're not going to be able to get rid of him off that. You're not going to learn anything about him this year. You're better off actually playing this with Eli because he can at least handle what's going on around him. And he's not going to throw 4 picks. You can't put a kid in this situation with no line and no running game and no receivers. He was not going to do anything well. He's going to get destroyed. He's never going to be able to make secondary and tertiary reads. He's never going to be able to check off. He's going to get destroyed. Why would you do that to him? You're going to do that to him, put him in against the Eagles? Or put him in against a big pass rush? They get killed.
Why do that to them? You're actually hurting the kid's development. They're not going to learn anything about him. And they're going to draft a quarterback no matter what Webb does. They're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. They'd be crazy not to. Sal in Sayville, what's up, Sal?
Mike, thanks for all these afternoons
Thank
for
you.
so long, Mike. You were just talking about guests, and I was the one that asked you a few weeks ago if you would have Brent Musburger on. Any chance on
I don't know. Maybe we do that. I have to think about that. I forgot about Brent. Maybe we'll do that.
I always associated you guys,
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we did work together for years in the 80s. Absolutely.
Mike, maybe a stupid question, but with the Heisman Trophy coming up, obviously it's a shoo-in for Baker Mayfield.
He will win. He will win by a landslide. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, they have the all the ex-winners on stage gracing, the stage.
Yeah.
My question, and I don't know what his legal status is, but let's say O.J. Simpson, would they even allow him if he wanted to be a part of?
I don't think they would invite O.J. back. I don't think they would. I don't know that, but I don't think they would. If they're inviting back past winners this year, which you're saying they're doing, I'm not sure, if they're doing that. Now, a lot of times there's a lot of ex-Heisman winners in the studio, in the audience. I hosted the Heisman show for a couple of years. So I'm 3 or 4 years I must have. So there are always past winners in the audience. But if they're inviting back all of them, which there's a lot of living Heisman Trophy winners right now, if that's true, I still don't think they would invite O.J. back. I do not believe they would, no. I think that would be very uncomfortable for a lot of people. I don't think they would do that. So if you're asking me would they invite O.J. back with the winners and announce them, I don't think they would do that, no. I think that would be very difficult for them. I think that, you remember, they're an organization that is a very, very business-oriented organization, somewhat conservative organization. I don't see them doing that. I really don't. I just don't see them going in that direction and inviting O.J. back. I just think it causes too much issues for them. I just don't see that. I don't know if they're doing what you say they're doing anyway, And I did vote. I always tell you who I vote for. I voted for Mayfield. I told you that I wanted a reason not to. I couldn't come up with one. I always vote objectively. I always vote fairly. And I always vote for who I think's the best. And he's the best. Like I said, I was looking for a way not to vote for him. I don't have anybody to vote for. I voted for Love second. And I don't remember who I put third. I have to remember who I put third. I'm trying to remember. Who did I put third, Mons? I put the Wisconsin running back third. Yeah, that was it. I put the running back third. So 2 running backs after Mayfield. Mayfield deserved to win. I mean, he's going to win going away. He's going to win by a very, very wide margin. No question. So not going to be a lot of suspense. And forgot Army Navy this weekend. Navy is a 3-point favorite over Army, which is the lowest spread I can remember in probably 15 years. Some years it's been 20 points. Navy's always been favored. Army hasn't been favored probably in 20 years, maybe more. But this year it's only 3 because Army's had a pretty good year. Navy's been Navy. I mean, they play a much tougher schedule than Army does. Remember, Army plays a lot of lesser games. Navy doesn't play lesser games. They play a very full schedule. They play a much tougher schedule than Army. So, and they're very competitive. I mean, Navy's usually better, but Army knows how to play this. They know how to play their game. They know how to play the option, and they're very well schooled in it, and they've played much more competitively the last 2 years. So I think it'll be a very close game this year. Here's Erica.